Lawnside Safety, and I'm here just to highlight some key components when building a set. This isn't necessarily for DTS or a supervisor training you, but this is just to highlight some of the key components so when you build them, they stay together. Where you should always start is find out what your percentage of your loads are. Follow your coupling procedure, go inside, notify employees. Here we are in an open lot, so we're going to go back and check them. If you can't verify inside the percentage, check the paperwork. That's why it's important on the paperwork to have the percentage, especially for bypass loads. So we know this one is empty. This one's also empty. So this is telling us we can make either one our lead or our rear. You do want to keep these within about a 10% difference. So we figured out our percentages. This one will be our rear. I've backed up my tractor and dolly. I'm centered with the pin. My height is good between the trailer and the dolly. This is when I want to check this. Now what we train is to put a marker on the ground. So one thing we talk about, especially when you're new, is putting a marker on the ground. Use a yellow towel. Use part of a vest. Something you can actually see. You put your glove on the ground, well, you may need your glove, especially if you accidentally run it over. You still need your glove. So I like to put a little something down you can see. In the dark, you can't always see your glove. I like to keep this real simple. Imaginary line down the center of my axle. I put the marker right next to the tire. That's simple. Now I'm going to detach my dolly, and then I'll be ready to hook up to my lead. So when I back up next to my marker, I try and center it in the tire and put my tire right next to it, just how I placed it right next to the tractor. Before you step behind your trailer, let's make sure we see our brake lights. What this did was it put us right in front of our dolly. We only have to pick it up and carry it 6 inches, maybe a foot. Nice and simple. We're going to put the dolly on. I didn't have to fight it. I just had to pick it up and roll it forward. Latch down, locked, pin across. Let's get our chains crisscross. Make sure they're not kinked. If they're a little kinked, a little short, just try and untwist them. Here we are coupled. This dolly isn't going to go anywhere. But we also want to turn on your red side. Push in your snubber. The snubber will push out and push against the pintle. I'll show you again. It goes in, it comes out. You have to supply air and your line has to be connected to the blue side. Turn off the air and begin connecting your lines. Let's make sure nothing is kinked, twisted. Sometimes they'll end up a little twisted up. And you got an airline that wants to do a loop-de. We don't want that. Just untwist it. Find where it's natural. Take your light cord. UPS lights run through the handle. And plug it in. Again, make sure we have nothing that's going to try and pull our lines off or get caught. Make sure your pin is secure. You could put a little bend in it, help hold it in place a little better. You could put a piece of tape around the tip or a zip tie around the tip, tape preferably, and it'll keep it from trying to slide through vibrations on the highway. Our dolly is connected to the lead. We are done that part. Verify height and alignment one last time before you go to the cab and back it under. If these were on the door, again, follow coupling awareness. Let's verify that this trailer is clear to hook up. So now we are coupled together. First thing I'm gonna check is make sure I see brake lights. Again, I don't wanna be in here if it's gonna start to roll. If I forget the tractor brake, I at least can see that I have brake lights on. So first thing we're gonna check, treat it just like you just hooked up your tractor. We wanna check our coupling. Make sure the handle is over and down. Make sure we don't have any gap in the fifth wheel. Go underneath and check your pin. This is a little different than a tractor fifth wheel, but it's in the shank of the pin. So now we're coupled. Now we're going to hook up our air lines and our light cord. These have a tendency of getting covered in grease. Again, with these air lines and your light cord, let's make sure that we're not going to be trying to grab that handle in any way. Let's make sure we don't have any weird twists or kinks in it. We don't want any of this happening. We want it nice and easy. We want the flow. See? I don't like this light cord going back there. Run it back through. Lines are on. Before we continue our pre-trip here, let's start sending air through. Again, brake lights are on. Blue side first. Let's engage the brakes. Red side disengages the spring brake. Listen for any air leaks. We have one. Adjust. Get rid of the leaks. Now continue your pre-trip. So secure your air line through here. We don't want this hanging, dangling. We don't want it to fall off and drag down the road. Have this secure. Take off the red side, turn on your blue, turn your head away. So we have air coming all the way through to our service brakes. Now we hit our emergency side. Again, we have air coming all the way through. Secure it. Make sure it's not just going to fall off. We take the pin, wrap it around. If it's long, go twice. Slide it through. Keeps it nice and secured. Keeps it from being pinched if you back this against anything. Continue your pre-trip. So now I'm fully pre-tripped. Every piece of equipment has been pre-tripped thoroughly. But now when I'm on the road, I cannot see this dolly in the mirror. Unless there could be an issue. If I see smoke, sparks, of course. But I'm not going to be able to see anything, and none of the connections in the mirror. So what I like to do is take one final look before I get in my cab and start to head down the road. I start at the beginning. My latch is down. The lock is in place with the pin. I have both my chains are crisscrossed. My snubber is out. My air lines are properly attached, no kinks. And my light cord is rammed with no kinks. Again, I follow my air lines back to the rear trailer and my light cord. Nothing's gonna snag, no kinks. So I know my connection is good, my lines are good. Now I'm gonna look at the dolly. My fifth wheel, my handle is over and down in the groove, and my two dogs are through the window. I am confident that this set is gonna stay together on the public road. Thanks for watching. Check out our other videos and be safe out there.